Hey, good morning. Thursday has slipped upon us. It's July the 3rd. Good morning. Right now it is 70 as you're waking up. We should see a high somewhere between 91 to 92 today. Beautiful day, a few clouds, but other than that, we're set pretty as we move into the 4th of July weekend. A lot of activities we'll tell you coming up at 7 o'clock where all the celebrations will be. Also this morning we've had a minor accident on Old Highway 80 West near where the railroad bridge is near the cemetery. There is a single vehicle accident there. Sheriff's deputies are on scene and they should have a wrecker coming in that direction here in just a few moments. So if you're out and about in that area, keep that in mind this morning if you come into Meridian that way. A little bit of fog in some areas across the area. John joining us from Smith County. Good morning there. Miss Shirley is there. I see a few others there. Rick, morning. Also, we'll tell you this morning on the morning show where Barry White's funeral will be taking place today. Former Chief Deputy of Clark County. That will be happening this morning. We'll have details on that coming up at the top of the hour as well. Let's go to Collinsville now. Let's get our message and good word of the day as we go to Collinsville First Baptist.
You know, one of the first questions I ever ask anyone when I meet them is, hey, where are you from? Right? Depending on where you are, it's always interesting to hear their answers. I remember at Ole Miss when I was in school, I met a guy from South Korea, and it was so cool to hear his background and culture, and we became good friends. If I ask any of y'all, I'm sure you'd have a lot to say. But did you know, though, that if you're a Christian, wherever you're from is not really your home? Philippians 3:20 says this, our citizenship is in heaven, and we eagerly wait for a Savior from there, the Lord Jesus Christ. Our citizenship, where we belong, is in heaven, and we eagerly wait for Jesus to return or to call us home. This world is full of pain and loss, right? And that really points us to a greater truth and a greater home in heaven. That's why that we don't have hope in this life only. We hope in Jesus because we know where our eternal home is. I read a story about a family that had been persecuted overseas. They were in a very tough place where being a Christian was not accepted. And in fact, to be a Christian meant you had a lot of tough times coming. And that family consistently said, we know this is not our home. Our hope is in heaven. We know that we're going to heaven. And we may not live, at least here in Lauderdale County, in a persecuted place. We may not live somewhere where people are trying to harm us if we're a Christian. But I do want to ask, do you have that same hope? Do you have the hope in heaven? Do you eagerly await for Jesus to return or to call you home? Our citizenship is in heaven. It's not here. So let's live like that. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Yes, and appreciate that. Our friends there at Collinsville First Baptist Church, hope you enjoyed that as well. Coming up as we begin a new day, and great, July the 3rd, we are, what does this make it, officially halfway through the year. Now, as we talk about July 3rd, July 4th, there's a lot of celebrations this weekend. The FBI is warning Americans, watch out for those lone wolves, those that would do damage like they did in New Orleans. I know we talked about this the other day, but again, the terrorist threat very high for the weekend. Again, look for single people to pull these stunts off. See something peculiar? Call the police. Let someone know if you're in a large crowd there. Microsoft, we mentioned this about a month ago that it would be coming. It's closer. Microsoft laying off about 9,000 employees this go-round. Hate to see jobs go. It's all a part of the AI intelligence. With that being said, there are new jobs being created with the AI. 7 missing. We brought up that there was a fire yesterday. This would be in Northern California. It was a warehouse, a distribution center, so to speak, for fireworks. It did catch on fire. 7 people are missing. It was a huge, huge fire. And the outcome does not sound good on that. I didn't realize we had a shooting in Georgia yesterday. It happened in Savannah at a mall. 3 people were injured. They were shot. They did live. They were rushed to a local hospital. But I didn't even realize that it happened yesterday and all the things that were going on. Wyoming, you don't hear about this much anymore. Measles. They've got their first case of measles that is recorded in the past 15 years, the very first one there. That's the last thing we need, isn't it? Now, I can't tell you if it's a lack of people not taking shots anymore or vaccines, but there's a big scare on that nationwide where people just don't want them anymore. Rightly so in some cases, I would say. Let's see here. A congressional, this is horrifying. Think of this. You have a child that has political aspirations in life. Now, I know there's a lot of you who've had your children go off to Washington and serve and work for congressmen. They've got a special name for it, but a 21-year-old was killed Monday night. He worked for a congressman. He was crossing the street, and there was a gun battle. He was shot. He wasn't intended. Collateral damage, I guess is what they call that. We hate that. 3 people ended up being shot. He's the only one that is deceased. Now, his parents have a tough time getting over that. Washington, D.C. is where that happened. I'm going to tell you, it just gets worse and worse for Kanye. Australia has canceled his concerts due to the fact he'd done a song called Heil Hitler. They didn't want him in the country after that. Ruh-roh. He won't be going. What is it? Ho, 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 Green Giant. You know what I'm talking about? Del Monte. The people that made that, they have filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That's just, they had peaches and a lot of other things. Didn't expect that to happen there. Chuck E. Cheese, how will this work? I guess there's a lot of parents that hang around. When's the last time you went to one? Now, let's be honest, there's not one in Meridian. I'm not sure if Jackson has one. I've heard of one in Birmingham before. But they're going to be launching a new adult arcade concept. Maybe it'll work. They've been pretty good for the kids so far. Greek islands in Greece. Huge fire there. They had to evacuate an island. Out of control fire burning there. I don't know a lot about soccer. And I know a lot of you probably love it. It just never caught my attention. But a Liverpool soccer star, let's try to pronounce it, Diogo Jota. I slaughtered that probably. It doesn't sound exactly right. But he was killed in a car crash in Spain. If you're a big soccer fan, you probably know him. I got it as close as I could say it. It's a tough word there. What else do we have here? They're not releasing information on this. We know that there's a death. This would happen in Florida. A mother has been arrested. I think she's 36 years old. She's a doctor. Her 4-year-old child was found floating in a swimming pool. They've not released any of the details, only the fact that she's been arrested in connection with it. We'll wait to see what they say. Was it negligence? I'm not sure. We'll wait and find out. Jennifer Aniston, she was always pretty. Y'all remember her from Friends? Jennifer? She's going to be starring in a new movie adaptation. I think it'll have 10 episodes called I'm Glad My Mother Died. Strange name. I've seen worse. Maybe it's a good show there. Sean Diddy will not be released. Did anybody watch all of that yesterday? He was convicted on 2 counts, but they're the lesser accounts. He's waiting till I think roughly around October before they'll sentence him, and he will not be released from jail until then. We'll wait and see. A mystery. I think we've all read about this. We've seen this in the last couple of years. We've been seeing more and more about, well, I found this part. This matches it. What am I talking about? Amelia Earhart. They're saying that possibly they know where the plane is, and they're getting ready to launch a new investigation in an effort to find it. Maybe so. They found something on radar that looks like it could be the plane. The world waits to see. They found the Titanic, didn't they? I didn't think that would ever be possible. A January 6th defendant, y'all remember that, is going to spend life in prison. He's been sentenced. And I thought, what did he do that was so different? I don't remember anything. They say that after he was arrested, he plotted to take out the people that arrested him. Full scale. So he's been convicted on a whole different charge. If he done that, he deserves that. Do you remember when we brought up the app that tracks ICE yesterday? They said that after the White House blasted it and talked about it, a lot more people went and downloaded it. I can see that. What else do we have this morning? Let's see. King Charles, he's got to wait a year. They're going to give him a raise in his budget, but he's got to wait till next year to get it. Just can't afford it this year, so it's put off for one more year. Good luck to that on King Charles.
That's any expenses anyway.
I get it that it's a tradition in London, but man alive, it's expensive to keep those families rolling. And they take care of all of them. Send little Elon over there, they wouldn't like him, would they? Do some slashing up in the house. We'll be right back with your weather forecast this morning. We'll get into that, let you know exactly what's happening. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Nick at Doc's Toyota, and we are excited to put you in a new Toyota today. We have no dealer markup, no hidden fees, no hassle, and our inventory is always priced to move. Our top-notch sales department and first-class service after the sale guarantees you a fast and comfortable buying experience like you've never had. So come see why month after month, more and more customers have chose to buy from Doc's Toyota. So come see us here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia at docstoyota.com or on Facebook. And remember, there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
For over 40 years, you've been able to count on Watt Equipment in DeKalb, Mississippi. They've got your Massey Ferguson's brand new 23 up to 135 horse cab and air tractors. They've got all your hay equipment needs, all your bush hogs. If your tractor needs it, they got it. Also remember, they service all makes and models, whether it's green, orange, blue, red, or yellow. They can get your parts in, they can do your service on your equipment. Don't forget Watt Equipment, DeKalb, Mississippi.
Welcome back. Good morning. I had to ask Odie if he'd heard of this as we go to radar this morning. Let's pull this up. As we go to Olive Branch, Mississippi, that northwestern corner of Mississippi, they've got a air quality, let's see here, advisory out this morning. I really didn't know. It affects Shelby County Health Department, issued a code orange ozone forecast effective for Shelby County, Tennessee, several other places. They'll continue to watch this. Recommends that people with respiratory disease such as asthma, limited prolonged outdoor exertion. That's new to me. I don't know that I remember one of those being issued for Mississippi before. But it takes in Collierville, Tennessee, Germantown, all the way up to Millington, and back over here, Arkansas. So something to keep in mind if you've got friends that live in that area there. Air quality advisory. Mississippi, we don't have anything happening in the eastern side of Mississippi. We do have a slight shower happening here around Greenwood. Showers back to our west into Arkansas there, but all looks good across Mississippi. A few little bit of fog areas there around Gadsden to the east of Birmingham. It gets thicker around the Carolinas, all through there as we get up into West Virginia and Kentucky. Charleston, kind of hard to see downtown right now with all of that fog, but that's the way that is. Now, we have no chances of rain in our forecast for today. Just a beautiful day, but cloudy. That's the way it is. All right, let's get into our forecast now. Get you updated.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Let's see. Wrong button. I didn't do something right there, did I? Here we go. As we go back for our record highs and lows, it was 1970. We had that record high of 102. Back in 1924. It was set to 57. As we don't have a report yet from Jackson, we do have it from Alabama. 89 is expected there, and we'll see that in Birmingham, somewhere around 90 in Clanton. The Mississippi side, we could see anywhere from 91 to 92 today. As we glance at this 6 to 10 day outlook, we'll stay warm here in Mississippi, a little bit warmer up the eastern coastline through Georgia and to the Carolinas, and a little bit there in Florida as well. As we move ahead to our 7 day outlook, as you see here, 91 listed for Meridian today. And again, that could be 92 depending upon where you are. The heat index won't be near as bad as it's been, but still muggy weather is expected. By tomorrow, 4th of July, look at that. 0% chance of rain, high of 94. It ought to be perfect for any activities that you're going to do. Even for tonight's celebrations, it'll be good. As we move into Saturday, a smidgen of a chance, high of 95, down to 94 on Sunday. As we go back to work next week, we're going to start seeing chances of rain increasing. By Tuesday and Wednesday, we're at a 60% chance of rain, still in those low 90s. As we move all the way through the 16th of July, look at that, 91, mid 80s there, upper 80s rather. They're right at that 90-degree mark all the way through the 17th as we move forward looking at the forecast. Not bad, not bad. Let's see what our fishing forecast holds from Clarkdale Super Red. If you need a worm, you need any minnows, they got it for you there. Major times to fish today is going on now through 8 a.m. Another major time this afternoon around 6:30, should last until dark. A minor time today between 1:30 and 2:30 if you're going to be out right there after lunch. Otherwise, sunrise happens at 5:52 this morning. Sunset will roll in at 8:05. Well, there you go. On the way this morning, a big thank you to WMOX for joining us today. Dana, I have to agree. I'm tired of rain as you are. I see Mark is headed back from Williamsburg, Virginia. Hope you had a great trip up there. Now, a lot of you travel. We do appreciate each and every one of the pictures we get from out of town. I think that we appreciate that a whole lot. Again, we did have a minor accident on Highway 80 out near the cemetery where the railroad crossing is. We did have a one vehicle accident there this morning. Otherwise, it's been kind of quiet. Well, I said that Q word, didn't I? I'm not supposed to say that. It's been mild. Let me back up and say it. It's been mild, and that's what we like. On the way, we've got a lot to talk about this morning beginning at 7. I hope you'll join us for the morning show. All of that's up and coming in just a little bit here at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll see you then.